Good evening and welcome back. We are in our simple character modeling tutorial, and in the last tutorial we made our jump animation. So here's our simple jump. Whee! Doesn't look like he's going very far because he's not. He's going back and kind of landing, right? Whee! And then back. So in this tutorial we're going to look at how to do some simple combat animation. For this you will need a sword and maybe a shield. I think we'll just do the sword this time, and we'll add a shield and maybe a gesture for throwing magic. Before I go ahead and start animating away though, I want to get into the correct animation set. So let's go to, right now we're in our jump. I'm going to go to the idle pose. That's bind pose, idle pose. And then in here, I'm going to select all by type, and grab joints. I'm going to go down to frame 48. I'm going to actually leave that for now. I'm not sure how I want this to play out. So frame 48 will be fine. But I do need a sword for my character. So I'll drop in a cube. In my settings here, I'll do, I guess, 20 tall. And then I will move the pivot point of the cube down to where the handle is going to be. So I'm going to press the D key. And that should change your widget with this little swirly on it. And I can go ahead and move that down. I'll press D again to close that off. And now I will take the sword. I'm going to put it in his hand. So it doesn't matter what hand your character is. This works for both. To snap it to his hand, just hold down the V key and then snap to the appropriate joint that is going to be the hand. And then I will rotate the sword into position. And then what I want to do is I want to select the sword object, and I'm going to select the joint that it's connected to. I'm going to press the P key. That will parent the sword to the joint. So if I move this arm, for example, it should go with it. Okay. Now let's go back to position 1. And the reason why I did that is it's easier to kind of get the idea of him swinging a sword with an object. I'm going to reduce the number of frames that I have. I'll drop them down to like 12. All right, and then before I start animating away, I want to make sure I select all joints. So select all by type. Joints. I'll go to frame 1, and then I'm going to press the S key to key everything. I'm going to go to frame 48. Actually, let me bring this back out to 48. Stretch that along, frame 48, make sure they're all keyed as well. It looks like it is. Go ahead and reselect that. Make sure I key all those in. I am going to have a shorter animation, so I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to click on frame 48. And I'm just going to move that down to frame... I'll do frame 12. And then drop this down to frame 12. There we are. So there's our stance. And then in here we're going to do our attack. So whenever you swing a sword or swing a bat or anything, it takes your whole body. So let's kind of work with this. We're going to start, frame 1 is where he's at. We're going to go forward. I'll do like frame 3. I'm going to get him into swinging position. So I'm going to turn his hips a little bit. I'm going to take that leg, turn that a little bit. And then this leg is going to look like it's ready to take a step. He's going to lean back. I'm going to turn him just a little bit. That arm's going to come up. That elbow has to be up. Right, you can see why we have the sword here, so you can kind of see the position of the sword. So I'm going to grab the collarbone and help rotate that back. Let's take that sword, or take the shoulder there. Oops. Now again, I can only go so far with the joints that I have, so I do want the arm back a little bit more, and I'll rotate the elbow. So from here, we go to here. And of course our body does turn with that, so I'll just make sure I get a little bit more rotation in there. This arm is going to carry our weight, so that we're going to kind of help throw our body a little bit. I'll bring that up. And the elbow will bend just slightly. So we go from here to here, like we're ready to swing, right? And if I continue this through, I go from here to there, right? Swing. I'm going to go over to frame 3, make sure I'm back there. I'm going to key everything that I've already set, just to make sure I don't have any odd things. So select all type, joints, and then the S key. Key that all. Somewhere around frame 6, my character is going to be in the pose where he actually swung the sword. So I'm going to move him forward just a bit. I'm also going to move him down because when you take a step for this, like this leg is going to be out just a little bit. This leg is going to come back. Right? We're no longer hips back. Hips are going to be more forward, so I will adjust as I go. Lower him to the ground, so grab the hips, take him down to the ground. This is the back foot. Back foot should hit the ground. This one is the front foot. Front foot also needs to be in ground position. Right? Except this is forward, but we're actually going to rotate the character's body just a tad. He's going to come this way. And I want the body to swing, so he's going to be forward like so. Move this forward. This arm is going to come forward. Make sure he's looking where he's hitting. And this arm, again, is carrying the weight, so we're going to take this back. Got our collarbone. Go ahead and turn that just a tad. I'll turn this just a tad more. So here, swing, step, and then there we go. Now you could carry 3, you could have more momentum going through, but that should work. Bam. And then he'll step back. So if I play it, we have he's taking that little step. Look at that. Bam. Bam. So again, preparing to swing, taking a step, our whole body's going into it. He's hitting the ground and swinging at like one motion, bam, and he's through. let's check our side view. So this is where you kind of refine your animations, and you can see here on frame 3, we're good. He's kind of cocked back. When we get to frame 4, you can see he's starting to dig that heel into the ground. That's probably okay. That's probably not going to be an issue. You might want to raise that up just a tad, but I'm not going to. But I will look at frame 5. Frame 5, and then 6. So somewhere around here to here is where we want to be, right? This is the frame that we're going to end on. So this frame, on frame 5, the foot can't touch the ground because that wouldn't make any sense because we don't have the foot hitting and then sliding. So we're going to take the foot back just a tad. Let's see how that looks. Now I do want to see where the foot is. Foot's right there. I'm going to create that box again. So I'm going to make a little box, and I am going to hold down the V key and snap it to the foot. The reason I'm doing this is whenever you're in a combat situation, you can actually tell Unreal to update your character's origin point. So you can see as I hit, I'm here, and as I take a step and I hit, my character has stepped forward. So it doesn't make sense for him to just slide back, right? We want him to slide forward. So for this to work, I'm going to come back to this position, right? And I want to move the character. I'm going to grab the hips, and I'm going to move him forward to where that foot lines up with that position. So now it looks like when I step that I've taken that stride. Okay. Now there's a bit of a slide going on. Again, I don't want him sliding, so I'm going to have to just double check what's going on. You can see that there's some slipping. And I don't want that slidingness to kind of be there. I do want him to, of course, get from here to there, but there's a bit of a slide on that leg, so that front leg. So I got to make sure I clean that up as the hips come forward. Also, I need to bend this leg. So as we're here, we hit, and then we're here. So this leg is going to be bending, kind of like when we took a step. And then from here, again, we need to make sure that that foot's not sliding off of that position. See how it slides forward? So I'm going to go ahead and just pull that back. And that's better. So we're here, bam. That should work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save it from here. Make sure that you save your work. Don't forget that we're saving this out as a different pose, so I'm going to go ahead and save this as the attack. So attack. Now, since I have a sword, I could say sword attack or spell attack. So I'll go ahead and just say attack, sword. And then the last thing we want to do, once again, is clean up our frames. I think we forgot to do that in a previous video. So select all by type, joints, edit, delete by type, static channels. And that'll clear out all of the channels that are not being animated. Alright, don't forget to save your work, and I will see you in the next video.